John Tayer, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, here for another edition of Chamber Chat. And I'm at the state capitol with our Senior Director of Policy Programs, Jonathan Singer, a former state legislator. And Jonathan, can you just tell us, why are we here today?
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me here and also hiring me so I can keep coming back. So,
that was the best decision I ever made.
Well, and best decision I ever made too. So the reason we're here today is we have the Northwest Chamber Alliance. This is an alliance of 7 chambers of commerce across Broomfield and Boulder County who descend on the Capitol once a year to talk about our consensus issues that are facing our business community. So whether it is enough workforce housing, a sustainable transportation solution plan for our state, or navigating the regulatory environment for our 3,600 businesses that we represent, this is what we're here doing, and I think we had a successful day here today.
We definitely did. We have met the governor, we met a bunch of our state legislators. We're able to advocate on some specific issues. Can you just speak to some of those issues that we did talk to our legislators about?
Absolutely. You know, there are a ton of bills coming up this year. We've already seen over 400 bills introduced. We'll probably see 600 by the time we're done. But who's counting? But some of the biggest things that we're seeing, transit-oriented communities. Hard to say, but a critical issue.
Yeah.
House Bill 1313, as well as several companion bills, are dealing with ensuring that we have workforce housing along our transit corridors, working with our cities to provide them the carrots they need to actually build and maintain those things, but also some sticks involved to make sure that, you know, our communities that aren't stepping up to the plate get to the plate, so we're doing the right thing.
Good, that's a great one. I also know that there were some transit issues related to Front Range passenger rail. Maybe just tell us a little bit about that initiative.
You know, whether or not we're going to actually be the beacon of the West is going to be a huge part of whether or not we get Front Range passenger rail. There is an opportunity to leverage federal dollars to pull into Colorado along the I-25 corridor from Fort Collins, ideally, ultimately all the way down to Pueblo, but at least starting in Denver, to make sure that our communities are connected in a way that will continue the economic vibrance that we're starting to see for years to come, generations to come.
Love it. And of course that would incorporate the Northwest Rail Line, which we've been waiting for to see come to our communities, so critical for our daily commuting.
Exactly. You know, we haven't missed the bus yet, folks, on this one. There's still plenty of time. And now we've got actually our foot on the accelerator with Governor Polis saying this is the time, this is the place. And with new federal dollars, this is a generational opportunity.
Love it. Okay, one other issue, property tax. I know that that's been an issue that's a priority for Boulder Chamber to try to reduce property tax impacts for our businesses. Anything that we said in particular to our representatives on that subject?
I mean, property tax just continues to be a huge issue and one that we'll be, you know, continuing to grapple with. The governor talked about a bipartisan property tax commission that's meeting right now. They're working on new solutions to address the 21st century issues that really haven't been addressed yet. And so we had the opportunity from the Boulder Chamber to go testify in front of that commission just last week. Hear more about it on Channel 4 this weekend. And but in the meantime, we're looking at figuring out new creative ways to make sure that small businesses aren't, you know, disproportionately impacted by the commercial property tax hikes that they've seen. So whether that means, you know, creating a cutoff like we do with senior homestead property tax exemption, where you write off the first $100,000. These are the new concepts that are being put out there right now, and we'll continue to you know, put our foot on the accelerator with those things.
I love it. So lots of we're working on. I would just want to ask Jonathan, who has been through the legislative process many times before. So at this point in legislative session, what are you looking forward to as key outcomes from this session?
Well, you know, at this point in the session, a lot going on. First of all, keen eye on the state budget right now. The state's got to balance their budget every year, so we're making sure that the right departments are getting the amount of money that they need to actually continue the economic vibrancy in our state. That's a huge part of it before that budget closes and the budget gets balanced at the end of the year. Also, a lot of bills are starting to cross over from the House to the Senate. So we're in committee, we're testifying on bills to make sure that they're following the process, that the business voice is heard loud and clear. And ultimately, we still have time to get out for lunch as lawmakers right now. That won't happen in about 2 weeks. It'll get super busy. So we'll enjoy the time and spend that time with our lawmakers, getting them to craft thoughtful legislation.
I love it. Well, I'm so thankful for the work that you, your team, Devin Edgley, our lobbyist, Laura Lee Hollinghorst, are doing down at the state legislature for our Boulder Chamber businesses. And all I can say is we're looking for some major productive, positive steps forward for our community. So important work. That's what he's doing down here at the state legislature, as well as back in our community. We'll see you next time on Chambers.